divine beings, I'm so excited. It is finally day one of Find Your Divine. I feel like I've been prepping for this workshop forever, but I'm actually so excited that day one is finally here. I just need to make sure that I can see your guys' comments. So if you just give me a second to figure out how to see this. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem with the comments. Sorry, guys, technical difficulties. This is the first time I have gone live in a group. So there might be a few learning patterns that I have to get through. Okay, here we are. It's coming up. Okay, comments. Okay, now I can see the comments. All right, so like I said, finally day one. I'm so excited. I just want to make sure that all of you can hear me and see me. So if you can, send me a thumbs up or send me a yes in the comments. I just want to make sure everything's running smoothly. And then if you guys got the emails, you would have seen that there are a few prizes over the next few days. So let me just get that out of the way so you guys can be set up and ready to enter. What you need to do firstly is make sure that you are following me on Instagram. I changed my handle yesterday actually, so if you're struggling to find me, it's aligned with _purpose. Just make sure you're following me, because each day what I will need you to do just to enter. Okay, yeah, I'm getting a hi. Can see and hear you. Hello, Kyla. What you need to do each day to enter is to just take a screenshot or a photo of the screen during this workshop, tag me, obviously post your stories, tag me and let me know what your biggest aha moment is, or your takeaway, or like something that really punched you in the gut, or big realization. And then I will choose a winner each day for the prize allocated for each day. Obviously, if you guys are watching the replay, you still can stand in line. You just have to do the same thing. I'm only going to probably choose the winners next week, and I'll contact the winners via Instagram. So don't worry if you're watching the replay. It's all good. You've still got the same chance to win. Today, the prize is a three card angel reading. Sorry. So yeah, share what you take away from today, and you might win an angel reading from me. All right. Hello, Loredana. Hello, Bianca. All right, cool. I'm glad all of you guys are starting to log on. I don't know about you, but this weather is not my fave. I'm freezing. I actually got my heater out. I hate the cold. Okay, so before we pop into the content of today's workshop, which is obviously the release part of the module, which is basically, like I've been saying, releasing all the negative things and like traits, behaviors, all of those negative bad things that are keeping you back from stepping into a higher purpose. And then tomorrow we'll be covering the Rise module, which is how the routines, the rituals, the tools, the techniques that you can use going forward to rise into the powerful divine human that you were meant to be. And then the last day we'll be talking about how you can give back to the community and why you should give back to the community. So I'm very excited to get through all the 3 days, but for today it's release. Before we start, I just wanted to let you know that I do have 2 dogs that are absolutely crazy. So we might have some barking and some weird noises in the background, but what can you do? I can't control my dogs. And then also, this is the first workshop I'm doing without a presentation. So if you see me squinting at the screen, looking a little bit blind, because I'm a little bit blind, it's just because I'm looking at my notes so that I can keep on track. Alrighty. Let me just see. Tony, what's up, sis? Kirsty, hello. Yeah, I'm so excited. Okay. Before we get into today, I just wanted to let you know that finding a purpose is a different journey for every single person, all right? So you might wake up tomorrow and have this epiphany moment where you now know what your purpose is. Great, that's amazing. But It might take you months, it might take you years, but if you stick to everything that we go through over the next few days and you put in the work, I promise you things are going to start being a lot more clear. Signs are going to start showing themselves to you, and you really are going to start your path to finding your purpose. Okay, so just be patient with yourself. Everyone's journey is different, and you're not lesser of a person if you have no idea still by the end of this workshop what your purpose is. This workshop's just designed to give you the tools and the techniques to help you on your new journey to finding your purpose. Okay, now before we start, I just want you guys to pop in the comments what purpose means to you. There's obviously a million different definitions of purpose. Everyone has a different idea what purpose is. But what I just wanted to point out to you guys is that people generally define purpose as being successful, where I define purpose as being fulfilled and happy. We'll get into this further along the workshop, but I just want to know what your definition of purpose is, because hopefully by the end of this workshop, you'll have a better idea what you think purpose means to you. Okay, hold on, I just want to switch my heat off. It's getting really hot in here. Okay. All right, so let's get started, guys. Okay, so there are 5 stages of purpose activation. I'm going to briefly go through all 5 stages, and then I'll get into the first 2 today, because the first 2 is what we'll be covering in this part of the workshop. The second 2 is what we'll be covering in tomorrow's workshop, and the last one is what we'll be covering in Friday's workshop. So the first step or stage of purpose activation is self-awareness. And this is just basically when you start getting that feeling or that call for that you need some kind of a change. You need more meaning, more purpose, more excitement, more passion. You just feel like you're sick of being stuck where you are, stuck in the life that you're living, whether it's your career or whatever it may be, and you're just feeling this call for change, all right? And I'm pretty much guessing that because all of you guys are here, you're at least in stage 1 of purpose activation. All right. Thanks, guys. I'm just checking all your comments. Okay, Kyla says, purpose to me means being satisfied and filled from within. I love that. That's amazing. But you're on the right track, girl. Okay. And then the second step, I keep saying steps, the second stage of purpose activation is self-improvement. So this is where you start to change the habits that no longer serve you, and just really start working on yourself so that you can get on this new journey of finding your passion, finding your purpose. All right. Then the third stage is awakening. This is when you start to become more of the real you, the more of the person you were meant to be. I'll get into this today about being authentic and being true to yourself, but a lot of us are living lives not for ourselves, but for other people, to make our parents happy, to make our partner happy, to make our friends think we're successful, or whatever it may be. So stage 3 is where you actually start to become more of your real authentic self. Then stage 4 is higher consciousness. And this is where you start to do all the work, all the routines, all the rituals, all the things. You're trying them out. You're seeing which ones resonate with you. And you start to embody this new version of yourself, this higher version of yourself. And then stage 5 is stepping into your purpose. So this is where you've found your purpose. And when you realize that the world isn't about me, the world is about we. We'll get to that on day 3. That's about giving back. But I think once you find your passion and your purpose, the ultimate goal is to give it back, to help other people, because we're all connected. We are one giant community. And if we all worked for the betterment of others, the world would be a much better place. All right. Let me know in the comments what stage you think you're at as well. I'd love to see. Okay. Okay, so let's delve a little bit more into self-awareness. So self-awareness is basically when you start to become aware of your different traits, your behaviors, your feelings, your emotions, your negative traits, your positive. You're just more aware of what's actually happening in your life So you basically come to the you come to the realization that there has to be more to life. You also start to become aware of the fact that you should have a higher purpose and that you want to have a higher purpose. But you don't basically necessarily know what that purpose is. Okay. And you just feel the need for some radical change, but you don't know how. Awareness. Like I said, you guys are here, definitely, if you've joined this workshop. And I just wanted to give you an interesting little statistic I found. They say that 95% of people think that they are self-aware, but only 10 to 15% of those people actually are. So that's quite a big change, well, quite a big difference between people who think they know themselves and are aware of themselves. So if I keep standing up, I find it very hard to keep still. Yeah, so like I was saying, it's quite a big difference between people who think they're aware and people who are actually self-aware. So I just thought that was an interesting little statistic. All right, so if you are now in this stage of self-awareness, here are some, I just want to give you a few things you can start to do to increase your self-awareness, because with every step in this, every stage of purpose activation, there's always going to be work that you have to do. You don't just become self-aware today and then wake up tomorrow and you're in step 2, stage 2, stage 3. It all requires work, dedication, and let me tell you one thing, it's not easy. And what I also wanted to say before we jump into today as well is that release is probably the hardest part of finding your purpose, because this is where you have to look at the dark side of you. You have to deal with the dark side of you and you have to work through the dark things. So it's not easy, but if you don't do it, you're never going to grow. You're never going to get better. You're not going to be able to unleash your deeper inner purpose, your deeper inner being that needs to shine out. So if anything triggers you today, if anything makes you emotional, that is fine. This is probably going to be the hardest of the 3 days. Just a little disclaimer there. All right, so like I was saying, there are a few things you can start to do to heighten your self-awareness. The number one thing, obviously, is to journal. If any of you know me, you know I love to journal. And you don't have to buy a fancy journal. Get a plain notebook and start to just jot down your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, things that happened to you in the day, things that excited you, things that upset you. When you start to journal and you start to take notes of all of these things, you're almost building like a mind map, a picture of your life, the deeper inner workings of your mind that you sometimes just let pass through your mind. And this is going to help you on your path to finding your purpose as well. Okay, Laura Dina says definitely stage 1. Good goal. It's better than not being in any stage. Okay, another thing you can do is meditation. Now, I know a lot of people are scared by meditation because it just sounds so hectic. How am I supposed to sit for an hour just not thinking about anything? That is not the meditation that you have to do. Everyone will be more inclined to a different way to meditate, and there are so many ways you can meditate. It's not the conventional sit down, don't think about anything, and like reach nirvana. You can meditate when you're going for a walk in the forest or your garden or whatever you have available to you. You can meditate when you're washing the dishes. You can meditate when you're painting or drawing or anything where you feel relaxed, at ease, in flow. That counts as meditation. And what you can do in these meditations, if you do take to meditating, is to start reflecting on the things you journal about. So if something happened to you during a day that upset you or excited you, meditate on that. Think about it. The more you start to think about stuff, the more your subconscious starts to piece puzzles together, and it's really going to help you on your journey. Okay. Another thing is to try new things, even if they seem like things that don't interest you or you're afraid of. The beautiful thing about self-discovery is that you start to learn things about yourself that you never really knew. So by trying new things, it might flicker a light. It might show you something that you had no idea you enjoyed or had no idea that brought you passion. So really start to try new things, and don't do the things that you're comfortable with. Start doing things that almost challenge you a bit, because without challenge, there's no growth. Okay, another thing is to practice being more mindful and more present. I always tell people the story of how I practice being present. I think it's so funny because it's such a mundane task, but it's actually taught me to enjoy I want to say smaller pleasures, but they're not really pleasures. So what I've been doing for a while now is practicing presence when I wash the dishes. So a task that normally frustrates me or I don't look forward to, I've actually started to enjoy. And what I'll do is I will run the hot water, I will feel the sensation of the hot water on my skin, I will take in all the smells. Might not be great, but you're just connecting to all your senses and just really being in that moment. And by practicing presence in these weird mundane tasks, it just teaches you to start practicing presence more often in other things. And when you're more present, you're more connected to yourself. And that's the ultimate goal, because how are you ever going to figure out what your true burning inner desire is if you're not connected to yourself? Okay, Kyla says she's definitely started trying new and uncomfortable things in her life. That's amazing. I think one of the topics we're going to cover today is fear, but fear is one of the biggest things that holds us back. And it's obviously one of the scariest things as well, but we'll get to fear in a bit. But facing your fears is like the most rewarding thing you can do. I'll tell you about mine a bit later. Okay, another thing is to start accepting constructive criticism. Now, this may trigger people because one of the hardest things to do is accept and admit that you have flaws. But when you start to accept constructive criticism from people in your life, you're opening yourself up to learning more about yourself, to bettering yourself. I mean, I know I'm stubborn. And if you tell me that, I'm fine, because I know. But if you had told me that a year ago, it would have triggered me so badly. I would have been really upset. I would have taken it so personally. But what I've done is now taken that constructive criticism and I'm working on it. I hope I'm a lot less stubborn than I was. But just the point of this is that if you start to take in constructive criticism, all it can do is make you better. Okay. Like I said earlier now, also another thing is to just be patient. Nothing happens overnight. Everything takes work. Don't get frustrated. Don't give up. When you putting in the work, it might take, like I said, you might put in the work and feel better in a day. It might take you a week. It might take you a month. It might take you a year. Everyone's different. So just be patient with yourself. When you start to get impatient and frustrated, then you're allowing those negative energies in, lowering your vibration, and you're never going to be able to step into the higher version of yourself. Okay. Okay, this is my favorite one. I'm a big reader and I'm a big podcast listener. So for those of you who don't like reading, I would highly recommend starting to listen to podcasts. It's free. You can download it on your phone. You can listen to it whenever you have time. I listen to them whenever I'm driving. And you can listen to the podcasts that really talk about the things that you enjoy or that you want to learn. I've learned so much. I have learned so much. And it's the best because I don't have to set aside time in my day to now listen to these podcasts. I just listen to them when I'm in my car. The same with reading. I love reading in the morning. And actually, there was a book I was reading over December that actually just sparked something in me and made me realize that this is what I need to do. I was already like looking into coaching and I was doing the self-love thing and I was reading this book and I was like, I need to become a spirituality and purpose coach. I have been into spirituality my whole life. I've learned so much and like I hate seeing other people struggling and stuck. So, I mean, just by reading some book, I had this like this flame in my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I need to do. So reading and podcasting is an amazing way to firstly learn more, to discover more, and to maybe spark something inside of you that you didn't know existed already. That might be a passion or something that you can start to pursue. Okay. And then the last one is to create a vision board. Now, I know I'm also going to say that I get very lazy when it comes to creating vision boards. But what I've done is I've made a screensaver for my laptop. So every time I open my screen, I see everything on my vision board. And it just almost subconsciously reminds your brain of all your dreams, goals, and desires. Sorry. And I think it was in The Secret. Sorry. I think it was in The Secret where there's a guy who made a vision board like, let's say 5, 6, 7 years ago. He made this beautiful vision board and then he put it in a corner somewhere, and then he moved a few times and he put it in a box and it went into storage, and he never looked at that vision board again. And then he had moved into a house at some stage, and he was unpacking all his boxes and he found this vision board. And he said the craziest thing was he had put a picture of his dream house on this vision board. And when he pulled out this vision board and looked at it, he was living in that exact house that was on his vision board. And he wasn't looking at it every single day. Just by making the vision board and looking at it, the subconscious took it in and started to find ways to make that happen. So I actually got goosebumps talking about this story. If a vision board sounds like something that'll work for you, definitely get on that, because it's the power of the subconscious mind is next to nothing. When you start to, well, I've started to research the subconscious mind. It's actually insane what it is capable of. Okay. All right, Kyla says my vision board is my phone lock screen. Amazing, I love that. Okay, so that's all stuff you can do to help on your self-awareness stage. Then we move to self-improvement. So self-improvement, like I said, is when you're feeling called to change, and you start to make it your mission to actually do all these things to improve yourself. You move away from the habits and the things that are no longer serving you, and you start to practice all the things that make you better, make you happier, increase your vibration, just all around, like, catapult you on this beautiful new path of becoming your higher version. All right, so it's basically you working on yourself, for yourself, to be better for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go over 4 negative things now that we need to release and let go of in ourselves, in our lives, in order to step forward into the next stage, which we'll discuss tomorrow, of rising into your beautiful new version of yourself. So the first thing is false identity. All right. We have been conditioned from such a young age to almost make our decisions based on what we think other people want us to make the decisions on, rather than making decisions for what we truly desire. So an example might be you finish high school, your parents want you to go to university, you don't know what you want to study, so you just pick something. That's not necessarily something that you had planned, that you were passionate about, that you actually wanted to pursue. It's just something that you chose because you knew going to university would make your parents happy. Okay, so the one thing we need to work through in order to now step into our higher selves is to let go of this false identity. So I really want you to start thinking, every time you make a decision, who am I making this decision for? Am I making it for myself? Or am I making it to make my parents happy, to make my partner happy, to make my kids happy, to make my friends happy? Once you start to be more aware of this and how you're making decisions, you will start to actually realize how scary it is, how many times you're making decisions not based on what you want and what's best for you and your path and your journey, but for other people. All right. So the one thing we need to realize is that stepping into a true, authentic self takes daily practice. I'm going to give you tips and tricks on how to now start stepping into your true self and being more true to yourself. But this is something that you have to practice every day. And everything that we're going to go through is probably something that you have to practice every day. But like I said, if you put in the work and you put in the effort, you will see the results and you will be able to eventually step into this higher dream version of yourself. Okay, so things you can do to start being more authentically you. Number 1 is to express yourself freely. Now, I know this is a lot easier said than done, But I want you to start practicing not like responding to people's conversations or questions or whatever they may be in the way that you think they would like you to respond. I want you to express yourself how you would if you're talking to yourself in the mirror, let's say. So just be more honest with yourself. Obviously, when I say express yourself freely, I'm not saying be rude if someone's irritating you, but let me just move this cushion. Just start to express yourself more freely, and you will allow your inner authentic self to start shining through. Okay. Then I want you to also start making decisions and statements more consciously. A lot of us have like, I want to say like instant reactions or instant decision making things where we're so preconditioned to make them so quickly because we know, oh, if I decide this, it's going to make my husband happy. If I decide this, my parents will be so happy. I want you to start making these decisions and statements more consciously. So also this brings back being more present, because I think a lot of the times we agree to things and we say things without even thinking about it. So think about what you want to say before you say it. Be more present in the moment, and it'll help you to make decisions and statements that are more aligned to your true self. Okay. Oh, Kyla says she loves that one, expressing myself freely. Okay. Guys, at the end of the day, all of these tips I'm giving you are pretty, like, you could Google them, but I really just want to reiterate them, because if you start to do all of them together and you really are more conscious of your daily habits and stuff, you really are going to be able to, like, fasten your journey. There goes the dogs. All right. Another thing is to be honest. And this, I actually wanted to, I've got a book here. It's called The 4 Agreements. I don't know if any of you have read it. If you have, give me a thumbs up in the comments. It's by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I think it's the most beautiful book because it's basically 4 agreements to live by. And I mean, I'll read you the 4 that are in the book. But the first one, I mean, obviously here I'm saying be honest. But these 4 agreements, if you live your life by these 4 agreements, your life will change. Okay, so the first one is to be impeccable with your word. So that basically means to just speak with integrity, speak with honesty, speak with truth, and don't be mean. Like, be honest. But you know, there's a time and a place for being honest, brutally honest, which is probably normally never, because you're just going to land up hurting someone's feelings. And there's always a better way to tell people things as well. But basically, being impeccable with your words means don't be ugly, don't tell lies. Everything that comes out of your mouth must come from your beautiful divine being. Think about if someone else was talking to you, how you would want them to talk to you. Okay, the second one is don't take anything personally. And this goes back to being able to take constructive criticism as well. We're so driven by our egos. So when people criticize us or if people say something about us, we tend to take it so personally. But that's just someone else's perspective of how they see you. They don't necessarily know your deep inner workings, and they don't know you that well. So people are allowed to have their own opinions. People make assumptions. Let them be. Don't let it influence you. All right. And then, yeah, don't make assumptions. That's the third one. So I actually wanted to tell you a story. I was watching a series called Nurse Ratched. I don't know if any of you have watched it, but I found it such a, like, so weird. I got such a spiritual, like, lesson out of watching it, because she's so messed up. And there's so many parts in the series where, like, I immediately assume, oh my gosh, this chick is cooked. What is wrong with her? That's disgusting, gross. Like, how can she do that? But as the show goes on and you get to know her better and you get to know her story better, everything actually makes sense to her reactions and the things that she was doing. And I actually felt so bad. I was like, I can't believe I immediately assumed that this chick was batshit crazy, but I didn't know her life story. I didn't know what has happened to her up till now to make her react and do the things that she was doing. So making assumptions is also something that's really going to hold you back, because you are just going on what you think and what you perceive the person to be. And then the last one is always do your best. I mean, that's a given. If you try your best and you do your best every day, you're just going to keep getting better and better. Okay, So if any of you are interested, I think that's a beautiful book to read. It's just explains those 4 concepts so perfectly, and you just made me feel so warm and fuzzy inside afterwards. I actually printed the 4 agreements on my wall so I can see them every day. Okay. The next thing you can do is catch yourself out. Okay, and this is the hardest thing because we all like to believe deep down inside that we're perfect. But we make mistakes, we mess up. So once you start to actually catch yourself out when you're telling a lie, when you're making an assumption, when you're speaking badly about someone else, then you can actually start to work on getting rid of these bad habits. So start catching yourself out. It's going to change the way you do things, all right? Okay, the next one is to set boundaries. I talk about boundaries all the time. Boundaries just are basically there for you to protect yourself and your energy. Everyone's going to have different boundaries that they set. It all boils down to your upbringing, your culture, your community, what's normal for you, what's not normal. But setting boundaries is really an amazing way to get people who might be taking advantage of you, and you just let it go because you have no boundaries up, or just not respecting you and your time. So boundaries is a beautiful way to almost get rid of this false identity, because by you saying yes, yes, yes to everyone, and you actually don't have the time, or you don't want to be doing what this person keeps expecting from you, you can step more into your true self. Okay, sorry, just checking comments. Okay, then face your fears. We're going to get into fears later, but like I said, nothing great ever comes from staying in your comfort zone. And a lot of our fears are based on irrational thoughts and beliefs. And I promise you now, once you start to face your fears, you're going to become more confident, more courageous, and you're going to have less things holding you back. Okay, then another thing is to figure out what your core values are. So core values are basically like your non-negotiables. If you go on Pinterest and you look up core values, I actually saved one here, you can go through them and you can see which core values align with you, because this will also help you with setting boundaries. It will help you with being more real to yourself. It'll help you with choosing your friends going forward and choosing the people that you allow into your life. So core values are things like adventure, achievement, ambition, balance, commitment, community, creativity, empathy, friendship, generosity, gratitude, honesty, humility. So go have a look through list of core values, and when you start to realize what your core values are, it actually helps you to be more authentically yourself, because now you know what you stand for, what you will allow and what you won't allow, and it allows you to more confidently step into your true self. Okay, let me just go back to the comments. Okay, practice self-love and self-care. Okay, I think these two concepts get intertwined sometimes, but they're both equally important. So where self-care is doing the things that make you feel happy, like running a bubble bath, making your favorite tea, putting on a face mask, going for a walk in the garden, lying in the sun, whatever makes you feel happy, calm, de-stressed, that's self-care. Self-love is actually starting to do the work where you accept yourself for who you are, flaws and all, loving your cellulite, loving those rolls, loving your weird voice or your sticky out ears, like just fully accepting and loving yourself for everything that you are, because you are beautiful, you are unique, you are divine in your own beautiful way. Okay, and then the last one is just to continue to monitor yourself. Like I said, it's an everyday thing. This journey doesn't just happen overnight. And if you stop doing the work for a week, I promise you now you're going to land up starting all over again. So continue to monitor yourself, and you will find this process to be a lot easier. Okay, so that's false identity. If this is something that you feel like you need to work on, let me know in the comments. The next thing is negativity. Okay, the problem with negativity is that we do it unconsciously and it's almost become a habit. How many times do you find yourself thinking negative thoughts? Probably more often than not. I'm not good enough. I'll never be able to do that. I'm so fat. I'm so ugly. I'm so stupid. Why does so and so make more money than I am? It's because I'm not clever enough, I'm not talented enough, I'm not skilled enough. It's a habit that we are all got heavily ingrained in ourselves. And it's the like lowest vibration you can vibrate on in the spiritual world, okay? In the real world, even. I mean, I'm sure all of you know about the law of attraction. And if you are vibrating at a lower frequency, you're not going to be able to attract higher vibrational things into your life. So negativity is a big thing that holds us back from stepping into our true selves, our best selves. And all it really does is create sadness. All right, so it's a no-brainer that we should start working on the negativity and getting rid of the negativity, because when we get rid of the negativity, our vibration increases, happiness increases, our life gets better. All right. So, there's a quote that I love. A negative mind will never create a positive life. Okay. So here are a few ways that you can stop yourself from the negative cycle or the negativity trap. The first one is to stop gossiping. Now, I mean, this is pretty obvious, but it's a hard thing. Let me tell you one thing. I'm also guilty of it. Have a few glasses of wine with your bestie, and the next thing you know, you're gossiping, talking shit about someone, or did you hear about this, or oh my gosh, I can't believe so-and-so did this. But it's just negativity. Even though it's not about yourself, you're being negative about other people. So really just think about, I like to always put myself in someone else's shoes. How would you feel if you knew two other girls were having wine and talking about you badly? Not great. So what you want in life, you should give, because what you give comes back, right? So just stop gossiping. Doesn't do you any good. It just gets you in a negative mind frame, and you're never going to get out of this negative thinking habit. Okay. Yeah, everyone's like, negativity is a big one. I almost said a bad one, but same thing. Okay, so stop gossiping. Number 2, stop comparing yourself to others. Especially in these days where we have access to Instagram, Facebook, the internet in general, we always land up comparing ourselves to people on Instagram or social media, whatever your social media or internet of choice is. So firstly, it doesn't make any sense, because we all know that Instagram is everyone's highlight reel. They're not showing the bad, they're not showing the ugly, they're only showing the good. The lady that's flashing her Chanel handbag isn't showing you that they had to eat 2-minute noodles for the rest of the month because she spent all their money on a Chanel handbag. All right, so stop comparing yourself to others. You are your own unique person. You're not meant to be anyone else. Yes, you might be following a similar path to someone else, but you can't compare yourselves to them. We all have our own journey. We all have our own paths. We all have our own skills, talents, lives, responsibilities. So comparing yourself to others is just never going to be a good thing. What I would recommend is go on and find people that you aspire to be, role models, people who almost embody the person that you would love to become. I'm going to speak about this later, but social media detox is a great thing. All right. Okay, another thing, and I said this already, is view situations from another perspective. So what we have to realize is that we all have grown up in different situations. We've been brought up with different beliefs. So when you tend to have conflict with someone, or someone does or says something that angers you, frustrates you, hurts you, it might not be coming from the place that you think it's coming from. So you need to take a step back and look at the story from a different perspective. I'm so bad at thinking of examples on the spot, but someone might say something to you that you find very hurtful. Actually, I just thought of something. So when I started dating my husband, he's got 3 brothers. Well, he is one of the 3 brothers, but his dad only had boys as kids. So as a dad that only has boys, he's a lot more like abrupt and like abrasive when he speaks to you, and like honest. where I grew up a family with two girls, and we were not babied, but we were a lot more soft with daughters. So it was quite a big adjustment for me when I started to go and spend time with the parents, to get used to the way that his dad was speaking to me, because sometimes I'd be like, I can't believe he just said that. That's so rude. But he didn't mean it in that way. He was just being honest. He was just speaking the way that he was used to speaking to boys. Okay, so once you start to see stuff from another perspective, you help to take the negative reaction out of situations, because you're not just seeing it from your point of view, you're seeing it from all points of view. And I love the quote that says there's always three sides to a story: your side, their side, and the truth. Okay, then number 4 is to practice forgiveness. Now, this is probably the hardest step or tool or thing that you might need to do in your life, because forgiving people and forgiving yourself is one of the hardest things to do. But let's just think about this. What is done is done. You can't change the past. You can't forget about the past, but you can learn from it, and you can move forward, and you can be better from it. It's a lesson. Mistakes and failures are lessons, all right? And if you think about it realistically, especially when you're holding on to resentment and not forgiving people that have wronged you or hurt you in the past, who are you hurting at the end of the day by holding on to this resentment? Do you think they even know that you're still holding on to this anger or resentment? Do you think it keeps them up at night? Do you think it makes them angry or sad? No. It makes you sad. It makes you angry. It keeps you in this perpetual loop of sadness, when you can just forgive it and let go. And I know, again, it sounds a lot easier than it is, but I promise you, forgiveness is like, it just lifts the weight of the world off your shoulders, and you'll feel so much better afterwards. If you want to use a practical tool to work through forgiveness, my favorite is the Ho'oponopono ceremony. It's so simple, but it's so effective. Get yourself a pen and a paper, and just start to write down every single person you need to forgive, everything you need to forgive yourself for, anything that comes into your mind. You can sit for 5 minutes, you can sit for an hour. When I do this, I literally, stuff comes out that I didn't even know was in me. I'm just write. It's like word vomit on a page, and once it's out, whenever you talk about something, you feel so much better. So it's the same thing, like write it all out on a piece of paper. Once you're done, you can either rip it into a million pieces, you can set it up in flames. I love the symbolism of burning it and releasing it. And then you just say the Ho'oponopono mantra at the end, which is, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. Okay, so if any of you are struggling with forgiveness, that is my favorite tool to use. All right, and then the last tip for getting rid of negativity is to walk away from people or situations who are not serving you or your life, okay? Some people have friends, some people have family, some people have situations that just bring more harm than good, more sadness than joy, more negativity than positivity. Why are you holding on to these people and these situations? Why? It's not doing you any good. It's not helping you on your journey to becoming this better version of yourself. So walk away. I know it's also a lot easier said than done, but try and walk away from the friendships that aren't serving you. Even if you can't walk away, spend less time with them. Try to avoid the situations that bring out the ugly, the sad, the crazy in you, and you'll start to be a lot happier, trust me. This also goes back to boundaries. If there are people in your life that you can't necessarily get rid of, try to set up boundaries with them. It's just going to make your life a lot easier, and it's going to make it a lot easier to be more positive than negative. All right. Okay. So that was negativity. So give me a thumbs up, or let me know in the comments if that is something that you think is going to be something you have to work on. I can tell you right now, negativity is probably one of the biggest things and issues in people's lives. Like I said, it just becomes part of your normal day, your normal thinking routine. So once you start to actually put in all these steps that I've given you and use these tools that I've given you, you'll really start to find more positivity in your day, in your life, and in general. All right. Okay, number 3, fear. All right, so yes, fear is a warning flag from your brain to tell you that something's not right, you better get out of here. But there are 2 types of fear, right? You get your physiological and your safety fear. And yes, those are the ones that like, get the hell out of here, otherwise you're gonna die. But then you also get your personal fears, which are ones that you have got from maybe past traumas or past experiences, or even just something that's been with you your whole life. So for me, my biggest fear was, and I say was because I'm working through it, and it's so funny because this is what I'm doing right now, is public speaking. It took me a very, very, very long time to be able to do a workshop like this, to step in front of a bunch of people and talk to them. I don't know, for me it's just, I've always hated being the center of attention. I hate it when everyone's looking at me, and I'm always so worried about what people are going to think. All right, so public speaking was one of my hugest fears. I never said speeches at my 21st, at my wedding, at anyone's birthdays. It's just not my thing, but it's a fear that I faced, and I'm so much better for it now, because I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now if I still couldn't talk in front of people. All right, so the fears that we don't face become our limits. I said this before. If you're not facing fears, you're holding yourself back from being able to achieve certain things. Yes, it's scary. It might be overwhelming, but I can promise you now, there's nothing more empowering and like confidence boosting than facing a fear. And I can tell you right now, most of the times you're going to look back and be like, why was I even scared? Why was this a fear? We have a lot of irrational things that go on in our mind, and I think fear is basically fearing the outcome of something that hasn't happened yet. So by facing your fears, you're allowing yourself to grow, to get better, to learn. So let me know if fear is something that resonates with you. Oh, Kyla also says you hate public speaking. I'm like, join the club, girl. It's my worst. But the more you do it, also practice makes everything come a lot easier. Practice makes perfect, right? So if you can't even face the fear, how are you going to practice the tools and like just generally overcoming that fear? Okay. Fear is also all in the mind. There's no like physical reason why we have fear. Okay. And when you move the power from your mind to your heart, you can also start to connect with yourself on a deeper level, because this thing right here is always what stops us, what hinders us, what keeps us from like becoming our fullest potential. Okay, so I'm going to give you some tips on how to face and overcome your fears. Number 1 is to accept your fears. So this is basically just acknowledging your fears and start to get familiar with them. A lot of us, I think most of us, when it comes to fear, is we ignore it, we push it to the side, we avoid it like the plague, which is never going to help you in ever overcoming that fear. And it maybe even makes the fear worse, because it's like let's say a ball of poison. So you keep it there, you don't look at it, you don't touch it, you don't even know if it's still in the drawer, but it keeps giving you more and more fear because you don't know what that's going to do to you, and you're not actually getting to know it, starting to realize, this is my fear. Like, let me start to get a little bit more comfortable with the fact that I'm scared of this. Yes, I accept that I'm scared of this. Now, what can I do to face this fear, right? Nela says, I'm terrible at letting go and do keep things bottled up. You know what they say about bottling things up? You're gonna explode. So just take the steps that we've been talking about. And I mean, like I said, have patience with yourself, Nela. But I promise you, when you start to practice letting go and like not keeping everything bottled up, you're going to feel so much lighter, so much better. Okay. So after you accept your fears, number 2 is to work with your fears. So find out why you have these fears. where are they coming from? Maybe they're actually not the actual fear that you're thinking it is straight up. Like for me, I said my fear was public speaking, but at the end of the day, my actual fear was worrying what other people would think of me. I've always been very self-conscious. So my deepest fear was my self-worth and my self-confidence, and my fear showed me that. And by getting to know my fears and working with my fears, I now have been able to work on my self-worth and confidence, and I'm a lot better for it. Okay, so work with your fears and just start to figure out where they're coming from. There's normally a deeper reason to why you have this fear. Okay, then number 3 is to find fear patterns. So this is basically just starting to pick up the situations that you're in that bring fear, the people that you might be with around that bring fear. Anything that sparks that fear with you, it's also a sign of where it's coming from and how you can start to manage it. Okay, another thing you can do is change your fears, the way you word your fears. So I would normally say, I'm afraid of public speaking. That makes me encompass this thing. Now I'm saying I am. If you say I feel, you're detaching from it, all right? So it's almost like taking your hand, saying this is my hand, I am hand, and detaching it from yourself. So now it's not part of you. So it's not something that is permanent. It's not something that'll be stuck there forever. So instead of me saying I am afraid, and saying I feel afraid, I actually already feel so much better when you change just the way that you say it. All right, so just detach yourself from the emotion, from the fear, and it will already make you feel less attached to it, and it might even make it easier for you to face that fear or work through that fear. Okay, and then if all else fails, breath work, breath work, breath work. Breathwork is such a beautiful thing. I think for me, it's like one of the things that really just calms me down and brings me back into the moment. So this works with fear, this works with anxiety, this works with stress, this works with any of your negative emotions. When you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling sad, just take a moment and focus on your breathing. You don't have to do any special breathing technique. Just consciously take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And you can do it for a minute, you can do it for 5 minutes, but I promise you, once you've done the breath work, you're going to feel so much better. Okay, so that sums up fear. Fear was definitely one of my biggest negative things that's held me back in life. I mean, I'm 32 already, and I'm only starting to step into my purpose now. And that's not to say that that's bad. Some people only find their purpose when they're 50, 60. And the lucky ones find their purpose when they're younger, let's say 20, 25. Like I said, be patient with yourself. Life's a journey. Whether you're starting it now or you started in 10 years from now, at least you're starting it. All right. Okay, then the last negative thing that we all need to work on in order to better ourselves and start our miraculous journey to finding our purpose is getting rid of materialistic intentions. Okay, so like in the beginning when I asked you to let me know what your definition of purpose is, I'd like to know what your definition of success is. Put it in the comments. I would love to see. I think success also something we've been preconditioned to believe is something that it's not. A lot of people define success in monetary terms, and yes, it's amazing to have the funds you need to do the things you do and like buy the things you want and be able to do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, if you are doing something that is not making you happy, money is not going to buy you happiness. It's not going to bring you happiness. Yes, you might have a more privileged life, but for me personally, success is to feel fulfilled, to feel happy, to feel like I'm helping people, to feel like I'm changing the world. So for me, that's success. And the beautiful thing about changing your definition of success from money to fulfillment and happiness is that whatever you do that you are passionate about and that you feel fulfilled and happy and basically not like you're even working, you're going to land up being successful anyway. Okay. So, success is carefree and happy goal. I love all of your definitions. You're such a gem. Okay. So, if we place our success on external factors, we are never going to find lasting happiness. Yes, the initial happiness or adrenaline rush or whatever you get from getting a new car, buying a new outfit, buying a new house, whatever, like these materialistic things that you place your happiness are not long lasting. I mean, I'm not shy to tell you that I love shopping. I'm an online shopping addict. But I can tell you now, I will think about something that I want to buy for weeks and weeks. I'll be like, I'll be so happy when I buy that. And then I buy it and I get it and I'm happy for like an hour, maybe a day, maybe a week. And then I'm already thinking about the next thing that I want to buy. So external factors won't bring you long lasting happiness. Yes, they'll make you feel happy in the moment, but you need to start having more real intentions, real reasons to feel happy, more inner happiness comes from within. Sorry, I've got a word fart there. So just really start to look at the intentions and the goals and the dreams that you are setting and be real with yourself. Is it an external goal? So it's going to bring you money, it's going to bring you validation, it's going to bring you, I don't know, more friends, which probably aren't your real friends anyway. And start to rather set dreams and goals that are internal, that will bring you long lasting happiness. I just saw myself flick my hair on on my phone. I feel like a mermaid. Okay. And then just remember that purpose and meaning lead to true happiness. I've already said this, but we all think we can find happiness in the external, big cars, big houses, fancy cars, holiday homes, in wherever floats your boat. But those things might bring you temporary joy, but they're not going to bring you long-lasting happiness. It's only when you feel absolutely fulfilled and passionate and happy with your life and what you're doing that you will find long-lasting happiness. Okay. And the one thing you can do in setting goals and intentions and your dreams and desires is to really dig deep into finding what your deepest why is. So, yes, let's say I always use the losing weight goal. Yes, you want to lose weight. Why? Because I want to be skinny. That's not a good enough reason why. That's not going to stop you from binge eating the carrot cake that your mom bought you over the weekend. Dig deeper. Why? Why do you want to lose weight? Is it because you want to feel more confident? Maybe. Maybe you want to feel like better in your own skin, more comfortable. Really dig deeper into the reasons behind the goals you're setting and make sure they are internal goals for yourself and not because you want Johnny at the gym to notice you and ask you on a date. It's not really like a good goal. Okay. And then remember, you need to keep doing the work. Do the work to find your deepest intentions. So if you want to go and write down all your intentions that you have for your life and really just be real with yourself and be like, is this for me or is it for someone else? And if it is for someone else, how can I change it into a goal that's for me with a deep inner reason to why I want to achieve that? And then, like I said before, find role models. This is the one thing that really helped me on my journey to where I am today. And especially in the podcasting world, most of my role models are from there. The first, actually, my husband told me about her, Rachel Hollis. It was the first podcast I ever listened to, and she's a wife, she's a mother, she owns like a multi-million-dollar business. She's so humble, she works hard, she does the grind, but she's still like real, and she shares her journey and she shares her tips. And that's what got me into like changing my mindset about things and starting to actually want to do something that like drove me with passion. Doesn't make sense. Drove me with passion. But something that like, so I wanted to do something that gave me passion, that gave me fulfillment, that gave me joy, and not just like working at this job because it pays my salary and I can pay my bills at the end of the month. So start to really look for role models that embody who you want to become. And I promise you, if you follow them, you're going to pick up like things that they do. You're going to pick up, they might even give out free advice, free tools, free tips, like give you their life story so you can see how they went from rags to riches or whatever their story might be. It's just a much better way of being inspired than these bloody influencers on Instagram. Okay. So that's just the last thing was materialistic intentions. If you feel like you need to make some changes in that department, let me know in the comments. But yeah, like I said, this module is probably the hardest. As you can see now, while it's a lot of deep work, it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of facing your demons, facing your negative traits, like really accepting and just being real with yourself that you need to change things, all right? But tomorrow will be a bit more fun, I promise. And then just a reminder, if you guys want to stand in line to win that angel card reading, you can screenshot the screen of this workshop, tag me on Instagram in your stories, and let me know what your biggest takeaway was from today. I really hope that you guys found some value in today. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to comment later. I'd love to just get your feedback. And then tomorrow I'll catch you at the same time. Also, if you guys have any questions that you didn't want to ask on the comments, you're more than welcome to DM me on Instagram or email me or whatever it is. I'm always happy to help and assist you where I can. And then, yeah, tomorrow we'll be covering the tools, techniques, routines, all the things you can do to step into the high version of yourself. This is obviously where we cover the awareness and the higher consciousness stages of purpose activation. But thank you guys so much for being here with me. I really hope you had as much fun as I did. And you guys, without even knowing, you're helping me overcome my public speaking fear even more. So thank you. But I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. I hope you have a beautiful evening. If you're in Joburg, keep warm. It is freezing out there, but apparently it's boiling in Cape Town. So you guys are lucky. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.